Hello parents, I'm Dr. Tanisha Burke, psychologist and parenting coach, and welcome to the Strengthen Families Through Science series. In this video, we're going to talk about some of the causes of tantrums. But before we get started, remember to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, and please leave a comment and share. So what is a tantrum? A tantrum is a sudden, intense expression of frustration, anger, or disappointment in young children, and we usually see it in toddlers. It typically involves crying, screaming, stamping of the feet, and sometimes even physical aggression. Tantrums can happen when our little one is overwhelmed by their emotions and are unable to communicate their needs effectively or have them met. Tantrums usually last a few minutes, but sometimes they can take much longer. Even though it's hard for us as caregivers and parents to experience, what we need to remember is that tantrum is a normal part of a child's development and often decrease as a child grows and develops better language and coping skills. As parents, it is important for us to understand the root causes of tantrums before we can support our children. So let's get into it. What are the top 8 reasons our little ones flip their lids and lose control of their emotions? The first reason for tantrums is usually frustration. So toddlers have a limited language capacity and problem-solving skills, which can lead to frustration when they cannot communicate their emotions and needs effectively. The second cause might be overstimulation. Toddlers can become overwhelmed when they're exposed to too many noise, activity, or sensory input. The overstimulation can trigger a tantrum as their nervous system becomes overwhelmed and they do not have the skills or life experiences to regulate their emotions effectively. A third reason why our toddlers might have a tantrum is due to fatigue. So being tired can lower a toddler's threshold for frustration and can make them more prone to tantrums. It's because fatigue can affect their ability to regulate their emotions and lead to more mood swings and outbursts. The fourth reason why our toddlers might have a tantrum is related to hunger. So hunger can also trigger tantrums in toddler, making them irritable and unable to focus on anything else until their needs are met. Lack of control is also another reason why our children might have a meltdown or lose their cool or emotion. So as toddlers assert their independence and develop their own preferences, they may become upset when they find out that they cannot control the situation they're in, or that we as the parent is trying to navigate and tell them what to do and how to do things. This inability to control the situation might result in a tantrum as they struggle to cope with the big emotions associated with this lack of control. The sixth reason for a tantrum is sometimes unmet needs. So, if a child's basic needs such as food or sleep or affection or even a sense of security are not met, they may act out in a form of a tantrum as a way of trying to cope with this unmet need. The next reason that causes a tantrum that sometimes parents often overlook is change in the child's environment. So change can be challenging for toddlers who thrive on routine and structure. A sudden change in their routine, such as a new caregiver or a move to a new house, can trigger a child's tantrum. Another reason that our children might experience tantrums and that we as parents sometimes underestimate is related to transitions. So transitions for children can actually be very difficult. Transitions such as moving from playtime to mealtime or from being awake to going to bed can actually cause them to have a meltdown. One of the reasons is that with transitions, sometimes children are actually involved in their preferred activity and they do not want to switch to another one, and we as parents unfortunately come and interrupt their, for example, playtime or reading time for them to transition into something else that they do not want to do. And for our little ones, that can be very difficult to adjust to. As parents, we have to really remember that tantrums are overwhelming for our children, and it is important that we understand their underlying cause before we can provide adequate support for them. So now that you know the 8 most common causes of tantrums, you can in the future evaluate your interaction with your child. So the next time your little one has a tantrum, you might ask yourself, were they overstimulated? Were they tired? Did they feel like they did not have enough control of the environment, which means you might need to give them more things to do to make them feel more involved? Was a transition from one activity to the next too overwhelming for them? Or, for example, changes. Is it that you're moving to a new home, or is it that you're on vacation, and so on? So next time your child has a tantrum, evaluate and see which of the 8 causes fits it, and then what you can do in the future is to do everything possible to eliminate that potential cause. So we do hope that this information was helpful for you as you navigate life with your toddler. Before we go, as usual, remember to subscribe, comment, we'd love to hear from you, and share our videos with your friends and family. Together, we can make a real impact on the well-being of families everywhere. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.